What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we are here for a little unprecedented stream today. I wasn't 100% sure if the roster would be out today or not. It has been. It's a 60-man preliminary roster for the Gold Cup for Team Canada. A lot of question marks about it. I'm going to just go through it relatively quickly. I'm not going to touch on every player for obvious reasons, considering that there is a lot. But I'm curious to see what some of you guys have to say in the chat, as well as we dive in to this relatively strong 60-man roster with a lot of good stars in it. It should be a little bit of fun. I'm going to put it into a better view for you guys who are watching at home. Hopefully you guys are excited because there is a lot of good players on there. I'm getting a couple of the quick comments right away. Luke Carrier says that Jebson's in there, and yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. I'm relatively excited that he was able to make it. It is kind of cool. What are your thoughts on the list? We will go through them. We will go through them right now and take a look. But you are right, Luke. It does look like we are going to bring our A squad to it. It's a good list. You guys want to check it out without having to look at it right here. You can go to Canada's main website. This will be a relatively sort of quick stream, but we're going to just take a good hard look into some of the names on this list and seeing kind of how they fit. So starting off, the first one that gets my attention is Akinola from TFC. A player who could represent a few different nations, the U.S., I believe Nigeria is the other one, and of course Canada. I think he's got more likely to feature, I guess, for the Canadians than for the U.S., but it is good to see that Akinola's in there. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's a very talented young player. But I'm excited. I didn't know if the U.S. was going to snake him up or not. I mean, the U.S., in my opinion, is a little bit of lackadaisy when it comes to their striker options, but I think this is a good look for us, and I'm glad Akinola's in there. Maybe can potentially come out for the Gold Cup. Another one is Armfield's back. Scotty's back in the mix. I wasn't sure what was going to happen there with him missing out on the last few games. A lot of you guys were probably a little nervous as well. I mean, having Scott Armfield in this Gold Cup squad would be massive. He would bring so much to the middle of the park for us. I think that's a huge one there. I don't know if there's any of those names that are surprising to you, but I think a good one for me is that Armfield's back in. He was wearing the armband for us for a while. It's always good to see. I'm excited to see young Luke. Yes, I'm excited as well, given the fact that the center back position could be one up for grabs, and he showed some positive things there as well. Good, talented young kid. It's good to see, and hopefully he can make some type of impact in there as well. Going down, ZBG is there, our right back from Montreal. That's not a big surprise. Tejan Buchanan is there as well. Lucas Cavallini, Jay Chapman coming in from Inter Miami. A few of the usuals. Theo Corbiano is there. I think he'll be someone who might have a nice little breakout campaign, depending on what system that we go with. Derek Cornelius is there coming back in, which is good to see. Cornelius obviously has some experience at the Canadian level. He's done it for the Olympic qualifying, captaining that team. It's good to see him coming in now. His teammates there as well. And then the two big boys right there, Jonathan David and Alphonso Davies, both are in the Gold Cup squad. A lot of people had question marks of what type of squad we were going to drop. It's good to see that Davies and Davies are there, considering the fact that we know the U.S. are probably going to be having a bit of a weaker team, maybe a B team, same as the Mexicans as well. Very cool. Those two catch my eyes. Eustachio as well. Ricardo Ferreira, he's unattached from a team right now, but it's good to see him in there. Flores from Arsenal is a big one, a very big one that I wasn't sure if was going to be able to make this squad or not. I'm glad to see him. I mean, it is the provisional. It's a big list, but it's good to see that he's there. Could maybe have a chance to cup tie him relatively soon. Liam Frazier as well, another usual comes in there. Daniel Henry's one as well, another unattached player in Junior Hoylett, but I mean, he's just recently unattached. He's playing for the Canadians now. Not a big shocker that Junior Hoylett is there. It is good to see Atiba Hutchinson being back in. I wasn't sure if Atiba Hutchinson was going to be back for the Gold Cup or not, given his age, the amount of minutes he's looking to have, but I'm very excited to have him and Armfield back in the original provisional squad. Right there, Daniel Jebson's another big one. The English international for Sheffield United, eligible to represent Canada. Could be a good opportunity to get him cap-tied. I'm excited that he's in it as well. Him and Akinola, I think, are going to be two going head-to-head for one of the striker positions on this squad. Alistair Johnson, Kay as well. Scott Kennedy, is good to see him with the emergence of his success. Richie Larea, Laren as well. The two Millers, Kamal Miller and Liam Miller both in there. Ashton Morgan, a former TFC CB, is there right now. Jay Nelson, not a surprise. Jonathan Osorio, Samuel Piet. Ralph Prizo is another good one, young TFC player as well. Luke, as we were talking about a little bit earlier. Dane St. Clair, it is interesting to note that Milan Borjan is not in here. It was expected due to his Champions League qualification task that he had to do. So it does look like it's an opportunity for Dane St. Clair to really take on a starting position for us. And I'm excited to see him there. Sterling is in there as well. Vittoria, Waterman, and David Wallerspoon. So that is as strong as a Canadian men's national team starting provisional squad that you're going to look at. Also happy to see that Flores is in Canada provisional squad and not Mexico. I'm excited too. This is literally as pretty much strong of a squad you're going to find. Like I said, a big note is that Borjan's not going to be in there because of his Champions League qualification. He's got to go through the ropes there. But the fact that Davies, David, Armfield, Hutchinson, it is a strong-looking squad. A couple of dual nationals and Flores and Jebsen are in there as well. Akinola. There's a lot of potential to have a nice little run in there. It is very cool to see. Huge to see Jebsen and Flores. It is. It's massive. Massive. Again, and Akinola can fall in there as well. A couple different options that they could have went in, but I could not be happier with this Gold Cup roster, man. It's showing that we're looking to go all in for the Gold Cup. Very exciting to see. I don't know if there's any names on there that surprise you. Excited to see how Poe is going to be as the number one keeper. I have a feeling that Dane St. Clair is going to take it, but I mean, both could go back. There's no, there's going to be a nice little debate there of who's going to start between the sticks for us. I really like Dane St. Clair. I'd like to see him start, but I have a feeling that you may be right, and he may be the backup. Greetings from Canada, Shadow 12. Greetings from Canada, my man. How you feeling? Does Herman pick from this list? It's a good list. It's like I said, this is as strong as a list as you would want. There's a lot of good names in there. It's hard to be able to break it down. Maybe I'll do an episode a little bit later on actually picking my predicted 23-man squad. But there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent. A lot of dual nationals are on here as well. Opportunity to cap tie a few of them. We have our big hitters. Atiba Hutchinson is in there. Scott Armfield's in there. David, Davies. I'm happy. This is as good as a lineup you're going to want. I'm curious to see what the U.S. roster is going to look like. Please tell me if Tomori is on there. Tomori is not on there. We are going to be doing a video soon for you guys that is going to kind of surround some of the question marks around Tomori's eligibility. I did a lot of digging last night and came up with a few different hypotheses. I still don't even know what the right thing is, but Tomori, as far as I know, is still eligible, but there's a lot of things that go into his eligibility. Unfortunately, no matter what, if he is in the end of the day allowed to be eligible, he will not be eligible for this Gold Cup. There is a chance for the next World Cup, but Tomori is not in this list. Ross Barkin didn't quite get that. Yes, Tomori, but unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no, he's not on there. Andrews in here says, one thing to note is the provisional 60-man roster. I wouldn't be surprised if they went with a hybrid roster for the Gold Cup and bring more of the heavy hitters for the playoffs, Mexico. Yeah, and Andrew, you have a good point. This is the open provisional 60-man roster. Just because David and Davies, for example, are on it does not mean that they're going to stay. We have 14 grueling games coming up in the Octagon. There's also new managers coming in. Alphonso Davies has got Nagelsmann now. He's got to impress. He may want to show up when training camp starts. There's a lot of question marks of who will be the provisional squad. I mean, I put a hypothetical one together if some of the big hitters went elsewhere and didn't show up. And it could look like a 4-3-3 with Cavallini, Miller, and Corbiano, for example, for the front three. But there is a lot of talent. There is a lot of players who I didn't know would be in this list at all. So I'm very curious to see which way it ends up going, and I'm hoping that it could involve a lot of the big hitters because the Gold Cup could be a cool competition to win this year for us. Unfortunately, Lucas Diaz is not in there. That was another notable one as well. Borjan, I mean, our main man, our skipper, isn't in there, but I don't know. I think it was a breath of fresh air seeing the fact that Atiba Hutchinson and Scotty Armfield are in the works as well. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Because to me, I mean, on the face of things, it looks as strong as provisional rosters you're going to find. Like Andrew pointed out, we have no idea who's going to stick around. There's been a lot of theories that it will probably be a hybrid type starting 11. A lot of MLS players, a midfield that could even potentially look like Osorio, Piet, and Kay, for example. But there's also a possibility that Hutchinson and Arnfield could be in there. So it's very cool to see. It is a good looking starting 11. It's just, for me, I hope that we do kind of go for it. I really do, just because the main thing is the fact that the U.S. and Mexico aren't bringing their A squads. Where if we can have the likes of David and Davies and Hutchinson and Arnfield, I mean, we would be the favorites over them, man. Honestly, I think the big guns should rest. It would, and the starting 11s will look drastically different if the big guns do rest. If Arnfield, Atiba, Davis, and Davies stay at home, it's going to be a very different looking starting 11. It'd be curious to see if some of the likes like Corbiano could have a breakout campaign. I honestly think if the main men like Larin, David, Davies don't come, we would change our shape. We would go for the wingers and introduce someone like Corbiano, Miller. Cavallini would probably be the main striker leading the line. We could also go the two-striker formation. We have Akinola, who's an option as well. But if we bring our best 21-man roster, there's no reason why we may not be able to take this thing. It'll be very exciting to see, especially, like I said, with the U.S. and Mexico. Their teams are looking a little bit different. We can actually win this. We could. But again, this is the original 60. There's no guarantee that our big hitters will last until the final 23-man squad, but it just shows the kind of talent that we have on deck here. Double-double needs to stay. The Canadian double-double, Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies. I desperately hope they do, but I'm so torn. I'm so torn on what type of starting 11 we're going to see. It's gonna be insane, man. It honestly is. Are you gonna do a prediction for the Octagon? I am. I'm gonna do a video hopefully next week for my predictions for probably the Gold Cup and the Octagon. I'm sure the Gold Cup will come out first. Talk about it, especially after seeing what our 23-man roster could look like. But let me know what you guys thought about it. Adam says Jebsen and Flores included. Thoughts? Huge. Absolutely huge. Two dual nationals, same as Akinola, who could go different routes. If we're this Canadian men's national team, we recruit anybody we can. Anybody we can. We try to add depth to this squad. Is massive. I'm a big fan of Jebsen. I think he's going to do some good things, hopefully in the championship this year with Sheffield. This could be an opportunity for him to do some danger in the Gold Cup. It's a young looking squad, but if we bring our best 11 and we get those players on the pitch, it could be dangerous. To clarify, because of characters, I'm thinking of a hybrid for the group stage. Then for the knockouts, we'll bring more of the big guns since we can make changes to the roster for the knockouts and the big GC team we've had in the good years. It's an interesting debate, Andrew. It's an interesting debate. A lot of question marks, again, will fall along the lines of what Davids and Davies are thinking. I think it's very curious, especially because there's a new manager at Bayern. I don't know what Davies will be thinking. I think Davies loves representing his country and making it to the finals like this, and knowing that if Canada brings their best 11, their best 23, they have a shot at winning it. And I don't know how many times that's going to come down. It would mean a lot to soccer here in Canada, man. It's young Josh. I shaved, I know. Young Josh. Do you think Canada can win the Gold Cup? If they bring their strongest roster, yes, I do. I think there's a huge chance they can. I personally think we're in the top 4. There's always a challenge with Honduras, Costa Rica, but if you look at our squad, there's no reason why if the States and Mexico don't bring their best squads, which they're not, there's no reason why this Canadian team can't go for it. And it'll depend. If we decide not to, if we decide to go against it, then I don't think we're the favorites. But there's a lot of good players in here. Is it possible for Tomori to play in the Gold Cup? No. I am going to be doing a video on it next week. I'm very excited about it. I spent about 2 hours of research last night going for Tomori, and Tomori is eligible since 3 years after his last England debut, which was in December 2019. So in December 2022 is when Tomori could be eligible. There's a bunch of different things that are going on with this right now, and oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it could, because like there's a couple of theories about how many caps he was supposed to have under the age of 21, over the age of 21. But we'll do the video on it. But no, the earliest he could, if he is ever eligible to represent Canada, would be in December 2022. But yes, I will be doing a prediction video for the Gold Cup and the Octagon. Big up yourself. Well, thank you, my friend. Like the video, people. If you guys are new to the channel, you want to like the video, it's always appreciated. And subscribe if you guys are new. And let me know what your thoughts are on the 60-man list here, because there's a lot of talent, man. Nagelsmann is the new Bayern manager. He is, and it's going to be a big question mark of whether Davies will be allowed to join, if he's preferred, if he's going to have that chat with Nagelsmann. I don't know. I'm just desperate, man. But Canucks Hub does have some information as well. It says, no, Joseph, the earliest Tomori can play for Canada is November 2022, and that's if England doesn't cap tie him. That is very true. Like I said, the research I was doing last night has been a little bit wild. There's a lot of theories and situations about Tomori and whether he could potentially represent Canada, but we will dive into it in a video. You said you will make mod. I said I would make you a mod. Is that what you're saying? I appreciate giving the shout out for the likes, my friend. Producer T is chilling in the background. He's got Canada. He's got the trophy. I don't know, man. If we bring our best squad, this team can compete. No questions about it. I think they could compete whether Mexico brought their best squad or not. I mean, obviously Mexico and the U.S. have very strong squads. Just the fact that they aren't bringing their main squad. This is an open tournament, and I hope that we can compete. It will be fun to know. Unfortunately, Tomori will not be in here, but maybe in 2022, maybe before the World Cup. We'll have to see. Taylor gets a big up to producer T in the background. Canada got this. We better than everyone. This squad on paper looks fantastic. But again, it could change. We have no idea with some of these big hitters on this team. Will Hutchinson be there? Will Arnfield be there? Will the double-double be there? We don't know. And until we know what the final squad looks like, it's hard to make hypothesis of whether we're going to be the favorites. But if we bring our best squad, arguably we are one of the favorites of the tournament. If we go with that hybrid, and depending on how we play it out through the course of the tournament, it will be a little different. The CONCACAF is getting better and more competitive. Hopefully more dual nationals can make the join to Canada, Jamaica, Suriname. You're spot on, my man. You were spot on. It is a very good-looking CONCACAF, man. Very competitive. It's excited to see. And I'm very curious to see what this group of guys can do. Knowing that if we do bring our best, we could go into this tournament potentially being the favorites is drastic. It's so cool to see where this national team has come. And winning something like this Gold Cup now would be massive. And I'm excited for it. It's going to be starting in less than a month, guys. And hopefully you guys are excited as well. We can cheer on our fellow Canucks. Double-double over Starbucks any day. Let's go. Well, there you go. It's the Canadian standards. You got a good laugh at a Joseph there. But that is it, guys. There's 60 names on this list. I mean, the big takeaway for me is the big hitters are in it. Besides Borjan, but we knew that Borjan wasn't going to probably be in this tournament due to his club commitment. The dual nationals are huge for me as well. Seeing the likes that Jebsen, Flores, and Akinola are all on this team, all have a potential to make this team. It's very cool to see the duos of experience as well. Hutchinson and Arnfield are both in it as well, which I think is massive. No idea of the question marks of whether they are going to represent Canada or not, but the fact that this team is just as deep as they are is nothing but good things to say, man, and I'm very excited for it. I'm an Arsenal fan. It's nice seeing Flores on the roster. He currently is in the Arsenal youth squad. It's huge. I need Dortmund to sign Jonathan David so I can have that, or Buchanan so I can have that Canadian, but that is very cool to see, especially if you support Arsenal. I feel like this is the most open Gold Cup in a while, like in terms of anyone can win it. You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. If it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna depend on what these final rosters look like. But on paper, right now, with these open 60 from Canada, we are one of the favorites. And I mean, it'll definitely take a hit if Scotty and Hutchinson and Davies don't show up. But we still have a lot of talent here, and I'm very excited to see what it looks like. Will there be any more shortlists before the 23-man one? I don't believe so. But we will have to wait and see. I don't know why Tomori got to play games with my Canadian heart. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Tomori would just be the answer of all answers for the back four there. I mean, I'm holding on to that thing, and I can't wait to do the video to see what you guys have to say about all the points that I was able to discover about his potential eligibility. But for now, unfortunately, Tomori won't be looked at for some time. Jonathan David to Bayern. No, Joseph. Jonathan David if joins anyone, he needs to join Dortmund. Chelsea better than Arsenal from Gully. Don't steal. Yeah, bro, you said you will. Bayern better than London. There's a little debate going on right now. Could you predict what the roster would be assuming none of the European stars go? I can do that to end off the video. When is the 23-man roster released? I don't think it's going to be released for a couple weeks now, but I will give you, if you guys want to go here, my predictions. And you guys can do it in the chat as well. Drop a like before we get this started. This will be the last little bit we do on the stream today. But let's build one together. So let's start with keepers. We're going to build a 23-man squad. And we're going to start with the three keepers that will be in it. That Tomori video, we need it, please. We're planning on doing the Tomori video next week. We're going to dive into his eligibility requirements and all the possible scenarios. Hoping to have that video up for you guys next week. It should be fun, as well as probably my Gold Cup predictions for a little Canadian men's national team content. But let's get into the list and let's go through my predicted 23 final squad if everybody stays. We will start with the keepers. And I think they're pretty self-explanatory. I believe 3 will be on. I'm backing Dane St. Clair to be the starter. Let me know who your in order your 3 keepers would be. I'm going Dane St. Clair as a starter. I don't think he probably will be the starter, but I would love to see him become the starter. I think he's just such a talented keeper, and he's got a bright future. Vancouver's Crépeau will obviously be the other keeper on that list. He'll probably be the starter, more than likely, with meaning Montreal's James Panamis will be the 3rd string. I don't think there's much arguments for it. But those will be my 3 keepers. Going for the right back position, if I'm picking 2 right backs, I'm going to try to do it in a way where it's easy just kind of to match right now. For my 2 right backs, I'm going to go with Alistair Johnson, Richie Larea. My 4 center backs on this list, I'm going to put in Derek Cornelius for 1, Henry for 2, Scott Kennedy for 3, and Vittoria for 4. Man, there is a bit of depth there. And Frank Stirring could obviously be in there as well. Oh, it makes it interesting, man. It makes it interesting. Let me know who your 4 would be. That's a lot closer. I mean, Scott Kennedy for sure. Henry probably for sure. Even though Henry may decide to go against it. I feel like Derek Cornelius needs to be in there as well. And then there's Vittoria. That's tough. I'm gonna leave Frank Stirring out. I'm gonna do it. My 2 left backs will be another one. As I don't believe I saw Sam Adekubi. And I don't think I did. Samuel Adekubi is not in here. So that's another notable man who was left out. He is potentially looking to move to Turkey, which maybe had some type of impact on that. So my 2 left backs would be, I'd probably take an extra right back. I'd probably take, I'll say Buchanan. I mean, I was going to take him more up front, but Richie Larea can play as a left back, so we can pretend he can go over there. I'm going to put Kamal Miller as well. He can play left back as my 2 left backs. The 6 central midfielders, CDM/cams, I'm going to have David Waterspoon. Spoonie's got to be in there. So that's 1. Samuel Piette would be 2. Jonathan Osorio would be 3. K would be 4. Atiba and Arnfield would be my 6 center midfields. Then my wingers would be Davies, Miller, Corbianu, and then I guess Larin, David, and the final one would be Jebsen. That was a tough one to do, man. I'll break it down and have a little bit more impact in it, but that was I forgot Eustachio. Man. So Eustachio would go in there in front of, that was a big miss by me. Eustachio's first on that list. So then take out one of the MLS players. And it's tough because then, I would personally leave out Osorio, but he has been good for us. That is wild, man. That is hard. I'm going to have to break it down a little bit more when I have some time to put this list together. But that's just a few views. Eustachio's in there 100%. If Larin were to leave Turkey, where do you see him going? To the Prem. I'd see him going to a team like West Ham or potentially Crystal Palace. Producer T came up clutch with the Canada Soccer to take a look at the 60-man list. I did just see in there, let's go. Yeah, he's in there as well. Adekubi confirmed to Turkey last night. Yes, he joined a club, forget the name, starts with an H, but they finished 6th. I believe they had the Golden Boot winner of the Turkish League in the club that I'm thinking of. I just don't remember the team off the top of my name. It's a good look. There's the Canadian-Turkish connection, which isn't a big surprise for anybody. But yes, Eustachio's in there 1,000%. But if you guys have time right now and you want to build your 23-man squads, pop it in the chat. That was hard to do right off the top of my head. I'll sit down and put a better guess when I do a video on it. But Joshua's here, says, sup guys. Just took a look at the 60-man list squad. I did an attempt to do my best 23, and I left out Eustachio, so I deserve a slap on the wrist because I just missed his name. But that just shows the depth that was in there. It wasn't even easy to be able to put in the top 4 defenders because you want Vittori in there for experience if he's obviously willing to put in those kind of minutes. But saying that, he's 34. So maybe Vittori is one that you look out and try to spare him for the Octagon. I think Derek Cornelius is going to be in there. I think Henry's going to be in there. I'd love to see Scott Kennedy get in there. Just get as many minutes and much experience under his belt as he can. He's doing such a good job. And then you have young Stirring in there as well. There is some depth, and it's cool to see. There is some talent in there. But that was hard to see, man. Hola, how you doing, Shrek? With the space directly in the middle. You don't play by the rules, and I like it. Mine is about the same as yours, but Luke will be in there. He's got to represent. It's tough, man. And then it's just like, who do you take out? And I didn't even put in Flores. I didn't even put in, Akinola, Jebsen. There's so much talent in there. So it depends on the strategy that Herdman's going to do around this squad, who he wants to get in there. Tyler comes out. Oh, I missed Tyler's point. Hope Buchanan will get a lot of minutes. I do too. I hope Buchanan has a good breakout tournament. I think that there's an opportunity for him to get some minutes. Flores in the roster means that he's committing to Canada. It could be if he A, gets chosen, and then B, represents them in the Gold Cup. I believe it classifies as a major tournament with the new FIFA rules and would cap tie him because he's under 21. But yeah, and then that's another big question is, do you want to cap tie these young players? And Matthew just stated that. I think Herdman will try to cap tie a couple of players, and I agree. And then I think Herdman, the best thing to do would be sit down with this group of guys, his veteran players, and say, listen, do you want to represent? Do you need to go back to your club? Do you want to have these minutes? The Octagon's coming up, which is going to be the most grueling 14 games that this country's seen in a long time. And then, depending on who wants to be here and who doesn't, he may look to cap tie some of these kids. Jebsen, Flores are the 2 biggest ones in my opinion. Akinola's the one on the bubble. I do really like Akinola. I watch him a lot at TFC. I would like to see him get cap tied for Toronto. I'd like to see him get cap tied for Canada. He's living in Toronto. He's got a few different look suitors as well. The States, Nigeria. I don't know, man. It's going to be hard. I'm going to have to sit down with it and actually come up with a realistic 23-man roster because there's a lot to take into consideration, and you guys are making very good points about it. Brady says, good roster, starting to come around to not sending the absolute best to the Gold Cup to better evaluate depth, though I would like to win. I would like to win too because this is a tournament that, like I said, the States and Mexico aren't putting their best 11 or their best 23 in, so it's a huge opportunity, but there's a lot of question marks. Who do you cap tie? Which of your best players will want to go? Who do you kind of rest up for the Octagon? As I'm speaking out loud right now, it seems maybe Hutchinson and potentially Victoria won't be in it because of the Octagon, because of their age. And then that gives opportunities for some of the younger kids. Like our boy Luke. He's another dual national. He's from Trinidad and Tobago. I believe he'll probably go for Canada himself. Joshua says, as an American myself, I hope Akinola picks Canada. I'm surprised to hear that, Joshua, only because the States don't have a ton of depth in the striker position. Unless obviously DK decides to break out. I'm still not convinced by Josh Sargent, but he may move to Gladbach, which could lead to more minutes from him. And Akinola may be linked, he's been linked a couple times to Turkey, a couple of the bigger clubs there as well. I think Akinola is one for the future, and if I was Canada, I'd like to cap time as well. On top of that, I think Jebsen's now a little bit more priority than Akinola is. And correct me if you guys think I'm wrong, but I think that if it comes down to Akinola or Jebsen for representing Canada, Herdman's going to go Jebsen. 100% he is. But there's a lot to debate here with this squad, and I'm very curious to see what the final one will look like. Sargent was so bland. I'm not a big fan of Joshua Sargent. Like I said, he's very good at link-up play. He's more of a false nine than anything else. He's not a good finisher. I've seen it at Bremen. I've seen it for the U.S. men's national team. I do think that there's a little baller in there. It's going to depend on whether he gets a move to a team like Gladbach and if he takes advantage of it. Based on the youth upcoming, I think Canada would value Akinola more. Yep, and I agree. But there is some talent there as well. Like, if we play with a two-man striker formation, you have Laren, you have David. Very hard for Akinola to get in front of that. On top of the fact young Jebsen's coming up, you have Cavallini, who always produces at the national level. It's very cool. I've really enjoyed trying to break this down, man. Oh, here's a good one. You and Rabona TV should collab. So I have collabed with Adrian before, and for you guys looking in the chat, hopefully you drop a like for this, but Adrian and I are going to do a Canada Day special video for you guys. So there you go. For you Canadians out there, a little nice collaboration between Adrian and I. I won't tell you exactly what the topic will be on, but yes, Adrian will be back on the channel very shortly, and we will put that video out on Canada Day. So I'm very excited for that, but Adrian's an awesome guy. Very, very polite, and I'm looking forward to doing something with him very, very soon. Luke's got to be one. He's more exotic looking I've ever seen. He's a talented young kid, my man. He's a talented young kid. I think there's a chance that he could be in the Gold Cup squad again because of the dual nationality, and some of the center backs may want to go back to their respective club. Henry's playing in South Korea, man, so I mean it's ways away from where this Gold Cup is being hosted. How old are you? I am 25 years old, my man. 25 years old. I look a little bit older when the beard's there. I shaved it off, but you know. You should look into Luke. He was playing with Trinidad before, and now he's playing for Canada. I don't believe he played for Trinidad. I could be wrong. I'm going to go to Wikipedia. Good old source there. I have a feeling that... he's born in Brampton, so maybe he did play for Trinidad. He did. He played at Trinidad and Tobago for the U17s for 2 appearances, and then the U20s for 3. Hasn't been cup tied at the national level yet, so obviously Canada could look to pick him up as well. How old are you? Good vibes. I'm glad I'm giving you those good vibes. I'm 25. 25. I'm right in my prime, guys. Right in the prime. But yeah, that is the squad. There's a lot of question marks. I'm going to probably have a few videos coming up for you guys. Obviously, the one on Canada Day with Adrian from Rabona TV will be a lot of fun. We're going to do a video on Tamori's eligibility for Canada. I'm going to do the Octagon, the Gold Cup predictions, and then I'm going to do a prediction of what my 23-man team will look like. So a lot of content coming up for you guys for the Canadian men's national team. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Should be a lot of fun. Bro, you should be split up on Canada because it's beginning of preseason. Yeah, there's a lot of content coming for the channel. I need to do my best to try to balance it out. England or Scotland? I would put my money on England to win. We'll be doing a watch along of that if you guys want to join. Is there an interview of him? I saw you on YouTube in Trinidad. I saw on YouTube. Is there an interview of... I'm not sure if there was or not. If there was, I have not seen it. But man, A lot of good-looking players. And when I just quickly built my my team, I mean, ZBG wasn't in it for one of the right backs. We got a blessing of right backs. Tajon Buchanan can obviously play as a right back and play as a winger. You have Alistair Johnston. You have Richie Larea. Like, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of names on here I obviously didn't even touch on because I'm not going to go through all 60. I was just going to some of the ones that stood out to me. Ferreira is an interesting one, but unless he finds a club, I don't see him starting. I don't see Liam Fraser coming in as well. Junior Hoylett, I didn't mention him as either. There's a lot of talent on this team, man. And I'm very excited to see what the final one actually looks like. And hopefully you guys are excited about it as well. What do you think of Evel? I think he's a good player. I haven't watched a ton of him. Obviously, he got promotion to the 3rd division, which is pretty cool. But I don't know enough about him. I haven't watched his game enough to be able to give you a complete opinion on him yet. But I'll have to do a little bit more research on some of these players and hopefully get some looks at them because there is a lot of young talent coming up, spread across the world. Canucks Abroad on Twitter is a good way to keep up to date with some of that stuff as well. Appreciate they've been helping me out from time to time as well. But I don't have too much to say on him quite yet. But Croatia got robbed. Did not even watch any of the games today, guys. But we're going to wrap it up for there today. That is my initial reactions on the 60-man provisional roster for the Gold Cup. Got a lot of content coming up in the next couple weeks for you guys. Hopefully some of it you guys will obviously enjoy. And we'll see what the 23-man squad finally looks like. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little stream. Didn't realize I was going to do it today. Got a lot more to do, but it will be a lot of fun, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to drop a like on the way out. Subscribe if you guys are new.